Yes?
The new patient is here. They're early.
That's fine. We can start now.
What's up, my winter home slices? Welcome back to another Cameras from Media that don't really matter but live in my head rent-free. Today I would love to discuss the 2009 staple for all Wii home consoles and PSP systems. It's perfect for this winter season. It's snowing outside, I'm freezing and dying. As you can tell, my getup keeps me nice, warm, and cozy. Unlike Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Now, this may surprise some of you, but this game was actually pretty baller, pretty epic gamer. In all seriousness, I love this game. Dark, melancholy atmosphere, absolutely stellar storytelling, and beautiful music by Akira Yamaoka. This journey started out in a retro video game store about 7 hours away. I was looking for Silent Hill games. I was digging through left and right, P&O 3, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, Gubble. I couldn't find it. I gave up. I was throwing in the towel. Thankfully, my wife pointed me to a case in the very back with loose PSP games. I didn't see that. So I scurried my little way back there and I was looking through it and I was like, I think I know what that is. I saw out of the corner of a little game case 2 little L's and a little IES in smaller font on the bottom. That looks oddly familiar. Me, the little game junkie I am, I knew exactly what that was. Nothing could stop me. $35. $35. 35 golden doubloons. It was a well worthwhile steal. That's not a sentence. After about a couple days, it was one of the most amazing experiences I had playing a game, and went on to become one of my favorite games. Nothing, no amount of anything could have prepared me for the ending the first time I played it. But we'll get to that. So hold your horses. Grab onto them. Don't let them go. Let me give you a brief overview of the plot, and by brief I mean it's gonna be a lot, so buckle up. You are Harry Mason. You and your daughter Cheryl are on a little vacation. You crash in a cold winter snow-covered town called Silent Hill. Ever heard of it? Cheryl's missing. You gotta find her. That's priority number 1. You start searching the town. You're looking at stuff. You're honing in. You're focusing on specific things, and sometimes Harry makes a comment about it and you think nothing of it. You're like, oh, that was a little weird. That's a little cool. You know, you look at a poster and he says something about it. That's kind of fun. You just changed your ending right there, bud. In all seriousness, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of looking at stuff to change your ending. But the point is, you look at specific things and that changes the outcome of your story. That changes aspects of your story. Very revolutionary for a game in that era. Now, if you're an avid enjoyer of the series, you might recognize those characters that I mentioned, because they're not originally from this game. They're actually from Silent Hill 1. If you want more details about the backstory of this game, I'd recommend watching the What Happened video by Mr. Matt McMuscles. I'm jealous. I wish I had some McMuscle. Anyways, you wander through this town and occasionally you'll find collectibles. They're called mementos, and occasionally you'll be in running sequences trying to escape from monsters called Rorschachs, like the tests. And then that's where we get to the next playthrough mechanic of the game. In a therapy office with Mr. Michael Kaufman, he will ask you probing questions to try to psychologically evaluate you, and your answers will affect what ending or monsters you see or dialogue and characters. Now you may be wondering, Mr. Sunscreen, what does any of this have to do with cameras? All I have to say to that is, It's Dr. Sunscreen. Also, I'll explain. So the collectibles you gather throughout the game, the mementos, one of them is a pink disposable camera. Don't click off the video just yet. It's a little bit more cool than that. I got a little trick up my sleeve, my little Kirby sleeve. I got a little trick up there. Look at that. The Yashica MF1 customized to match exactly the one in the game. It's a little different, but it's probably got the same quality of photo that you'd probably get from a disposable camera. And it's nice and light, and I didn't feel bad painting on it. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about the ending. So if you do not want spoilers, skip to here. If you are planning on playing this game or are interested in it in any way, I would highly recommend doing that before learning about this, because it's a whole experience and I would hate to ruin that for you. And some of you are just too cool for that and you're gonna stay here. So that's completely fine. You keep doing you. So, hear me out. Harry Mason wakes up on a boat on the way to the lighthouse where he believes Cheryl is. It's his last hope. As he wakes up, he realizes he's back in the nightmare, which is another world that occasionally manifests into reality. And in this game, it manifests as a frozen wasteland covered in ice and rampant with monsters. With no other choice, he must walk across the lake to make it to his last resort. As he runs across, he's attacked from all sides by the Rorschachs. You fight aimlessly without any actual weapons till you become overwhelmed by them and they pin you down. That's when the lighthouse shines towards them and they all freeze and then shatter, as does the ground below you. Then after all that struggling, you are forced to swim helplessly to shore as you peer below the surface and see statues of what look like you and Cheryl before all of this has happened, and the good times that you used to have. After he has lost his strength and given up, one more saving grace arrives. Sybil Bennett, the officer who had been trying to help you the whole time, saved you last minute from a frozen watery grave and lets you go free to hopefully find Cheryl. You walk into the strangely marked lighthouse. Are you seeing things? Or is this lighthouse not a lighthouse? You enter and find a receptionist desk and one more collectible before going down a long hallway to a cutscene plays.
This is going nowhere. I'm spelling it out, but you're not listening. Your troubled school days? How you're conflicted about marriage? Your denial of death? The unfounded guilt? Abnormal sexuality? 18 years of denial. A whole universe of fantasy in that thick skull of yours. A skull teeming with agents of repression. Blind children clutching photos in the dark. Pale freaks goggle-eyed from watching home movies on loop. The term is complicated grief. But it's simple, isn't it? A young girl. Her parents don't get along. She blames herself, as all children do. Then daddy dies. What's a girl to do? Deny that daddy died. Deny who daddy was. What 7-year-old actually knows who their parents are anyway? So she obsesses and obsesses over this fantasy dad propping up her make-believe with scraps of a happy life that never was, scraps of a father who never existed. Wake up! Your dad wasn't a hero. Wasn't your knight in shining armor. He was a human being. You never knew him. And you never will. The dad walking around in your head isn't even a ghost. He never existed. A Frankenstein's monster, a child's fantasy. But you're alive. Your mother is alive. She's not the monster you make her out to be. You need to live your life. Cheryl.
With me for so long.
I always will be.
gonna lie. Most of the times I wouldn't consider video games to be one of those things I cry about recalling them. When I was writing this script and I was typing up this part and remembering the sequence of events, and I started tearing up. It all brought me back to that moment. Playing this game back, you can see the build-up. It all makes sense, but man, that first playthrough, you just can't see it coming. I have never, and probably will never, experience a game like I did with this one. There are AAA experiences that are out of this world, just amazing and beautiful. I don't understand why none of them have caught my attention like this one, which is a lot for a small little PSP game. Sometimes the little discs pack a punch. It may seem like this is an excuse to just talk about this game, but it absolutely is. Let's get to the camera, the Yashica MF1. You may not believe this, but it's pretty much a disposable camera. It's just better for the environment because you could reload it, so it's a little less plastic waste. With photos from disposable cameras, you certainly get the vibe of like a nostalgic feel. These you just point and shoot, and you don't care about the quality. You're just like, oh, that's a photo that I took, and it's kind of there, so I remember what that was. But I think something simple like this will be very fun in a complex scene or setting. Like, picture this, a foggy, frozen, snow-covered town from rural Montana, and take some hopefully aesthetically pleasing shots with this camera. So for this camera, I decided to shoot with some Ilford HP5 Plus 400 black and white film, because I figured that would probably fit the vibe of Silent Hill. This camera was easy-ish to load. All the parts were kind of stiff and felt like they could break at any moment, so I tried to be careful. But besides that, very easy to use. You just kind of point and shoot, and it produces things like this. They are so grainy and so dark, but I think I love that. This set of photos is one of my favorites. I think it's becoming that, at least. I feel like it encapsulates the vibe of Silent Hill to a T, and the only thing I could ask for is that it might be a little bit more clear. Let me know what you guys think of this video. I kind of liked the format. I hope to be doing a lot more of this. In fact, I have plans for the next one. I'll leave a little teaser at the end. But yeah, no, I love doing this because it's very fun to talk about games that I really enjoy, or like pieces of media that I just kind of want to talk about, but also I love to take pictures, so if I could do both of those, that'd be amazing. But let me know what you think, and like and subscribe. Thank you guys.